The massive screen in Earth's United Defense Command Center flickered to life, revealing a tall, gray-skinned figure wearing ornate robes. High Counselor Reed of the Galactic Council looked down at the assembled human leaders with cold, purple eyes. Admiral Stone stood straight, his weathered face showing no emotion as the alien transmission began. Around him, military commanders from every major nation on Earth watched in silence. They had trained for this moment for years, though the aliens didn't know that. People of Earth, Reed's voice boomed through the speakers. The Galactic Council has watched your civilization for many years. Your planet is rich in resources, yet your technology is. He paused, his lips curling into a slight smile. Primitive. The Council has decided to offer you protection and guidance. General Banks, standing next to Stone, gripped the edge of the metal table. His knuckles turned white, but he remained quiet. They all knew what was coming next. The terms are simple, Reed continued. Earth will surrender 30% of its mineral resources and accept status as a protected world under Council law. In return, we will share some of our basic technology and ensure no other species attacks your planet. Admiral Stone stepped forward. And if we refuse? The alien's purple eyes narrowed. Then we will take what we need by force. Your weapons are no match for our fleet. We could end this conversation by destroying your major cities in minutes. Stone allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had no idea about Project Phoenix, or the defensive grid hidden in Earth's orbit, or the fleet of ships waiting behind the moon. 10 years of secret preparation were about to pay off. You have 48 hours to accept our terms, Reed declared. Choose wisely. The screen went dark. The room burst into controlled activity. Officers moved between monitoring stations, checking readings and sending encrypted messages. This wasn't the panic the aliens expected. Instead, it was the smooth operation of a well-prepared military machine. Status report, Stone called out. Phoenix fleet is in position, sir, reported Captain Miller from her station. All ships report ready for combat operations. Orbital defense grid is powered and cloaked, added Lieutenant Parker. Shield generators are functioning at 100%. Stone turned to General Banks. They're positioning their ships exactly where we predicted. Arrogant bastards didn't even scan for cloaked defenses. Banks nodded. 10 years of watching their patrol patterns paid off. They always followed the same tactical doctrine. No creativity, no adaptation. Stone walked to the central holographic display, which showed the positions of the Council's fleet. 500 alien ships were moving into the solar system, spreading out in their standard attack formation. They thought they were dealing with helpless prey. They were wrong. Send word to all commands, Stone ordered. Operation Thunderstrike is now active. All units will maintain radio silence and await my signal. He paused, looking at the faces of Earth's defenders. Remember your training. We've prepared for this day since we first detected their signals. Humanity won't kneel to bullies, no matter where they come from. The next 47 hours were filled with quiet preparation. While the Council's ships waited confidently at the edge of the solar system, Earth's hidden forces moved into position. Stealth satellites adjusted their orbits. Cloaked defense platforms powered up their weapons. The Phoenix fleet, hidden in the shadow of the moon, ran final system checks. Stone spent the time reviewing reports and fine-tuning their response plans. The aliens thought they were dealing with a primitive species that would either surrender or be easily crushed. Their arrogance would be their downfall. As the deadline approached, Stone stood before the communication screen once again. High Counselor Reed's face appeared, wearing the same smug expression. Have you made your decision? The alien asked. Will you accept our generous offer? Stone looked directly into those purple eyes. We have made our decision. He paused, allowing himself another small smile. Humanity respectfully declined your offer. Reed's expression darkened. Then you have chosen destruction. Our fleet will. Stone cut the transmission. He turned to his officers, his voice firm and clear. Send the signal. Operation Thunderstrike begins now. He watched as the orders went out to Earth's hidden defenders. Let's show them how primitive we really are. 10 years earlier, Commander Walker stood in a vast underground chamber, watching as workers installed the massive shield generator. The device was a hybrid of human ingenuity and recovered alien technology. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, this facility was just one of 50 similar bases scattered across Earth. Report. He called out to Dr. Hayes, who was checking readings on her tablet. The reverse engineering is working better than we expected, she replied, brushing gray hair from her forehead. That crashed ship we found in the Arctic wasn't just a scout vessel. It was carrying their entire technical database. Walker smiled. When they'd first discovered the alien wreck frozen in ice, many had wanted to announce it to the world. Instead, the world's governments had made an unprecedented decision. They would keep it secret and use it to prepare for the day Earth would meet its first aliens. Show me the latest test results, Walker said, following Dr. Hayes to a nearby monitoring station. The screen displayed footage from yesterday's experiment. A small prototype shield, powered by their new quantum reactor, easily deflected energy weapons that could melt through a foot of steel. What the aliens didn't know was that humans had taken their basic technology and improved it in ways they never imagined. Project Phoenix is ahead of schedule, Dr. Hayes reported. The fleet will be ready within 5 years. Walker nodded. In shipyards hidden inside hollow asteroids, Earth was building vessels that combined alien tech with human military doctrine. While the Council's ships were powerful but predictable, Earth's fleet would be flexible and innovative. Sir, a young technician rushed up. We've decoded more of the alien database. You need to see this. The screens filled with information about the Galactic Council. Walker's expression hardened as he read. The Council claimed to be a peaceful federation, but the truth was darker. They moved from system to system, forcing developing worlds to submit to their rule. They always follow the same pattern, Walker muttered. Find a promising world, demand resources, and crush any resistance with overwhelming force. He turned to Dr. Hayes. But they never faced an opponent who knew they were coming. The next 5 years passed in a blur of activity. Deep underground and in secret space facilities, humanity prepared. They built ships with capabilities the Council had never considered. While alien vessels relied on pure energy weapons, Earth's ships carried a mix of conventional and advanced arms. While Council ships used standard shields, Earth's vessels had adaptive defensive systems. Walker walked through a training facility where pilots learned to fly the new ships. In simulator rooms, crews practiced battle scenarios based on observed Council tactics. Every soldier knew that humanity would only get one chance to surprise their enemy. The Council thinks they're dealing with primitives who barely understand space travel, Walker told his teams. That's our advantage. While they watch our public space programs struggle with basic rockets, we're building something they can't imagine. In orbit, disguised as space debris, automated defense platforms took position. Behind the moon, the first ships of the Phoenix fleet began their patrol routes, cloaked from all known detection methods. Earth's leaders coordinated through a secure network, preparing for the day first contact would turn hostile. Walker stood in the command center on the last day of preparation, watching as the final pieces fell into place. On screens around him, status reports showed green across the board. Earth's hidden arsenal was ready. Commander, Dr. Hayes called from her station. Long-range sensors are picking up Council ships entering the Kuiper Belt. They're earlier than we expected. Walker pressed a button on his console, connecting him to Admiral Stone and the other military leaders. This is Commander Walker. Project Phoenix is complete. All systems are operational. He paused, looking at the tactical display showing the approaching alien fleet. Earth is ready. Excellent work, Commander. Stone's voice came through clearly. Take your position. Let's show these bullies what happens when they underestimate humanity. As Walker headed to his command ship, he thought about how surprised the Council would be. They expected to find a helpless, primitive world. Instead, they would face an opponent who had spent 10 years preparing specifically to fight them. The trap was set. All that remained was to wait for the Council to spring it. Admiral Thorne of the Galactic Council stood on his command ship's bridge, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His fleet of 500 warships moved forward in perfect formation. This would be an easy victory, just another primitive world to add to the Council's collection. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Target their largest cities first. Once they see their defenses are useless, they'll surrender." The first wave of Council ships entered Earth's orbit, weapon systems powered up, targeting the planet below. Admiral Thorne allowed himself a small smile. These humans would learn their place quickly. The smile vanished as his tactical officer shouted, "Energy spike detected." Suddenly, the empty space around Earth lit up. Hidden defense platforms dropped their cloaking fields, revealing massive weapon arrays. Before the Council ships could react, quantum-based shields sprang to life around Earth's major cities. Impossible. Thorne slammed his fist on his command console. They're supposed to be primitives. The Council's first wave fired their weapons. Green energy beams struck Earth's shields and scattered harmlessly. Then the defense platforms opened fire. Beams of blue light sliced through Council ships like paper. In the first 5 minutes, 20 alien vessels exploded. "Fall back," Thorne ordered. "Regroup," and a new alarm blared. Behind the Council fleet, more ships appeared. The Phoenix fleet dropped its cloaking fields, emerging from behind Mars in attack formation. 100 Earth warships, led by Captain Rogers, moved to cut off the aliens' retreat. "This is Captain Rogers of the Earth Defense Force." A calm voice transmitted across all channels. "We suggest you reconsider your attack." In the United Defense Command Center, Admiral Stone watched the battle unfold. The Council ships tried to maintain their rigid formation, making them easy targets. Earth's ships moved in unpredictable patterns, striking from multiple angles. "Status report," Stone called out. "Enemy has lost 100 ships in the first hour," Lieutenant Parker reported. "No losses on our side. Our shields are holding." On his flagship, Admiral Thorne watched in horror as his fleet fell into chaos. Earth ships were using weapons and tactics he'd never seen before. Some fired traditional missiles alongside energy weapons. Others used strange devices that disabled Council ships without destroying them. "Sir," his tactical officer shouted, "they're deploying some kind of new technology. Our shields aren't designed to stop it." Captain Rogers led the main attack personally. His ship, the Phoenix Prime, dove through the enemy formation. Its advanced shields shrugged off alien weapons while its guns tore through Council vessels. "Target their command ships," Rogers ordered his fleet. "Don't let them regroup." The Council fleet tried to respond, but years of easy victories had made them inflexible. Their standard tactics were useless against Earth's unconventional strategy. Ships attempting to form defensive positions found themselves caught in crossfire from multiple directions. Back on Earth, Commander Walker coordinated the orbital defense platforms. "Activate secondary weapon systems," he ordered. "Let's show them everything we've got." The platforms launched swarms of small, automated drones. The Council ships, designed to fight large vessels, couldn't track the tiny attackers effectively. Drones slipped through their defenses, attaching to hull plates and disrupting shield generators. Admiral Thorne watched another wave of his ships fall to Earth's defenders. "This is impossible. How did they hide all this?" "Sir," his second-in-command reported, "we've lost 200 ships. We need to retreat." In the command center, Stone allowed himself a grim smile. "Send the message," he ordered. All Earth forces transmitted simultaneously. "This is your only warning. Leave our solar system now, or we will destroy your entire fleet." Admiral Thorne looked at his tactical display in disbelief. Half his fleet was either destroyed or disabled. Earth's forces had surrounded his remaining ships. Their weapons were still firing with full power, while his ship's energy reserves ran low. "Order the retreat," he said quietly. full speed out of the system. As the Council ships fled, Captain Rogers turned to his crew. "Send word to Admiral Stone. First phase complete. Enemy is retreating." Cheers erupted across Earth's fleet. The Council had expected an easy victory over primitives. Instead, they'd found a world more than ready to fight back. And this was only the beginning. "Let them run," Stone said, watching the alien ships flee. "Let them tell the Council exactly what happened here today." Operation Thunderstrike's second phase began 3 days after Earth's successful defense. Major Thompson stood on the bridge of his stealth ship, the Shadow, as it slipped quietly through space. His squadron of 10 vessels had one mission: destroy the Council's supply lines. "All ships report ready," his second-in-command whispered, even though sound couldn't travel in space. Everyone spoke softly on stealth missions out of habit. "Begin the operation," Thompson ordered. The stealth squadron activated their quantum drives, a technology Earth had developed by improving on the Council's designs. While alien ships left easy-to-track energy trails, Earth's vessels moved silently through space, completely invisible to standard sensors. Their first target was a massive Council supply station orbiting a distant moon. The station's commanders didn't even know Earth ships could travel this far. They had no reason to expect an attack this deep in their territory. "Weapons range in 30 seconds, Thompson's weapons officer reported. "They still haven't detected us." Thompson allowed himself a small smile. "Fire when ready." 10 Earth ships decloaked simultaneously. Their first shots destroyed the station's communication arrays. The second wave of attacks targeted the defense systems. Before any distress signal could be sent, the supply station was crippled. "Download their database," Thompson ordered. "Then plant the charges." His crews worked quickly, taking valuable intelligence and setting explosives. 20 minutes later, the squadron vanished into space again. Behind them, the station exploded silently in the darkness. Back on Earth, Admiral Stone reviewed the reports from multiple strike teams. Thompson's squadron wasn't the only one attacking Council targets. Earth had launched 50 similar missions, all striking deep into enemy space. "Status update," Stone called out to his command staff. Commander Walker stepped forward with a tablet. "Major Thompson's team has destroyed 3 supply stations. Captain Rogers' fleet is engaging Council forces in the Arcturus sector. All other missions report success." Stone nodded, studying the tactical display. Green dots showed Earth's forces, spreading out across Council space like a wave. Red dots marking Council positions were disappearing one by one. "They still can't track our ships," Walker added. "The Council is trying to defend everywhere at once, spreading their forces thin." In his flagship, Admiral Thorne faced the angry faces of the Council leadership on his screen. "How are they doing this?" High Counselor Reed demanded. "You said they were primitives." "Their technology is unlike anything we've seen," Thorne replied. "They've taken our basic designs and changed them in ways we never considered. Their ships appear and disappear at will. Our sensors can't track them. They're attacking everywhere at once." On the Shadow, Major Thompson prepared for another attack. This time, their target was a Council shipyard. "They're finally starting to adapt," he told his crew. "Look at those new sensor arrays they're installing." But the Council's attempts to counter Earth's technology came too late. While they rushed to upgrade their defenses, Earth's forces struck target after target. Supply lines were cut. Communication networks were destroyed. Shipyards burned. Captain Rogers led the main fleet in direct combat. His ships engaged Council forces in open battles, drawing attention away from the stealth squadrons. The Council's rigid tactics were no match for human creativity and adaptability. Another Council fleet approaching, Rogers' tactical officer reported. "They're trying that new formation." Rogers studied the enemy's approach. "They're learning, but too slowly. Launch countermeasure drones. Let's show them our newest surprise." The battle that followed demonstrated why Earth's fleet was superior. While Council ships relied on pure power, human vessels combined strength with flexibility. Rogers' ships launched swarms of drones, fired conventional weapons, and used energy beams in coordinated attacks that overwhelmed the aliens' defenses. In the command center, Stone received the latest intelligence reports. The Council is pulling back on all fronts, an analyst reported. They're abandoning forward bases and falling back to defend their core worlds. Stone turned to Walker. Phase 2 is almost complete. Prepare for Phase 3. Walker nodded. Yes, sir. I'll inform Major Thompson's squadron. They'll begin planting the quantum communication relays for the next phase. Earth's counterattack had achieved more than just military victories. It had shown the galaxy that humanity wasn't just another primitive species to be conquered. They were a force that had turned the Council's own technology against them, and they were just getting started. The Council's main chamber had never been so chaotic. High Counselor Reed stood at his podium, trying to maintain order as angry voices filled the massive hall. Representatives from dozens of worlds demanded answers about Earth's stunning victories. How could this happen? Shouted one alien diplomat, his blue scales flashing with anger. You said Earth was primitive. They've destroyed half our fleet. Another yelled, our trade routes are in chaos. Reed slammed his hand down. Order. We will handle this primitive world. Our forces are regrouping as we speak. In the back of the chamber, Director White watched silently. After centuries of serving on the Council, she had never seen such panic. As other Council members argued, she slipped away to her private office. Once alone, she activated a heavily encrypted communication device. A hologram appeared showing Admiral Stone's face. Director White, Stone said calmly, I assume the Council meeting is going poorly. Worse than you can imagine, she replied. The truth about the Council is spreading. Many worlds are watching Earth's success with great interest. On a distant mining world called Nexus, the local governor watched his security forces struggle to contain massive protests. The planet's workers, inspired by Earth's resistance, had risen up against Council rule. We want freedom like Earth, the protesters chanted. No more Council control. Similar scenes played out across Council space. On trading worlds, merchants openly discussed Earth's victories. In bars and gathering places, people shared stories about the mysterious human ships that appeared from nowhere, struck hard, and vanished again. Back in Earth's command center, Admiral Stone reviewed reports from across the galaxy. Show me the latest intelligence, he ordered. Commander Walker brought up a galactic map. Red dots showed worlds where protests had broken out. Yellow marked planets where local governments were quietly distancing themselves from the Council. Green highlighted potential allies. Director White's information was correct, Walker said. The Council's control was already weak. Our success is sparking rebellion everywhere. Stone nodded. And the secret files she provided. Confirmed, sir. The Council has been hiding their corruption for centuries. They've been stealing resources from developing worlds, keeping advanced technology for themselves, and crushing any resistance. On the Council homeworld, Director White secretly met with representatives from other species. The humans have proven the Council isn't invincible, she told them. It's time for change. Can they really help us? Asked a representative from a mining world. White activated a small device, showing footage of Earth's ships in action. They've already developed technology the Council thought impossible. And unlike the Council, they're willing to share it. In orbit around Mars, Captain Rogers' fleet protected a gathering of ships from various worlds. Their crews had defected from the Council, seeking alliance with Earth. Welcome to free space, Rogers transmitted to the newest arrivals. Earth stands ready to help all who oppose the Council's tyranny. The Council tried to maintain control through propaganda and threats, but their attempts failed as more evidence of their corruption emerged. Director White made sure proof of their crimes reached every world under Council control. The humans aren't the primitives, spread the whispers. The Council are the real savages. Admiral Stone stood in the command center, watching reports flow in from across the galaxy. A junior officer rushed up with a new message. Sir, 3 more council worlds have declared independence. They're requesting Earth's protection. Stone turned to Walker. How many worlds have contacted us now? 23, sir, and more are signaling their support secretly. Walker paused. The council is losing control faster than we expected. In her office, Director White prepared another transmission to Earth. She had served the council for centuries, believing in their mission. Now she knew better. The council isn't just corrupt, she recorded. They've been hiding something even worse, something they found in deep space. She attached encrypted files to her message. Earth needs to know what they're really facing. As her message sped through space toward Earth, White knew there was no turning back. The galaxy was changing. The council's power was crumbling. And humanity, the species they had dismissed as primitive, was leading the change. Stone received White's message and frowned at its contents. Get me Commander Walker, he ordered. Tell him to prepare for Phase 4. Things just got more complicated. Admiral Stone stood before Earth's unified military command, Director White's message playing on the main screen. The room was silent as they watched her reveal the Council's darkest secret. The Council found something in deep space, White's hologram explained. An ancient signal, pointing to something powerful. They've been gathering resources from conquered worlds to build weapons, preparing for war with something they won't even name. Stone turned off the message and faced the commanders. This explains why they were so desperate for Earth's resources. They're scared. Dr. Hayes stepped forward. Sir, permission to reveal Project Titan. Stone nodded. The time had come to show their true advantage. The wall behind him opened, revealing a massive laboratory. Inside, scientists worked around strange machines that pulsed with blue light. While the Council focused on building bigger weapons, Dr. Hayes explained, we took a different approach. We combined their quantum technology with human biology. She led them to a testing chamber. Inside, a small device sat on a table. It looked simple, just a metal sphere with glowing lines. This is a Titan unit. It doesn't destroy ships, it shuts them down. It connects with the crew's minds, makes them sleep peacefully. Commander Walker watched as they demonstrated the device on a captured Council ship. The alien vessel's lights flickered and went dark. Inside, the crew slept, unharmed. The Council thinks warfare is about destruction, Walker said. We proved them wrong. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons, it's our creativity. On her ship approaching Earth, Director White received the transmission explaining Project Titan. She smiled, finally understanding why humans were different. While the Council built weapons of destruction, Earth had created tools of peace. All ships, prepare for Phase 4. Stone's voice echoed across Earth's fleet. Load Titan devices and prepare for synchronized activation. Major Thompson's stealth squadron moved into position around key Council worlds. Captain Rogers led the main fleet in a direct approach to the Council homeworld. The aliens expected another attack. Instead, they would receive something very different. They're powering up their defense grid, Rogers reported. All ships in position. Stone stood in the command center, watching the tactical display. Green dots showed Earth's ships surrounding Council space. At each point, Titan devices waited for activation. Send the message, he ordered. All across Council space, humans transmitted the same words. People of the Council worlds, we don't come to destroy. We come to awaken. The Titan devices activated simultaneously. On hundreds of worlds, Council military forces fell into peaceful sleep. Their weapons powered down. Their ships went dark. Civil authorities remain awake, Dr. Hayes reported. Just as designed. Only military targets affected. Director White walked into the Council chamber. The military guards slept peacefully at their posts. High Counselor Reed stood alone, realizing his forces had been neutralized without a single shot. How? Reed demanded. What kind of weapon is this? Not a weapon, White replied. This is humanity showing us a better way. In the command center, Stone received reports from across Council space. The Titan devices had worked perfectly. Earth's ships moved unopposed through Council territory, protected by technology that ended fights without bloodshed. The ancient signal, Walker said, reading the decoded files from White. The Council thought it meant war was coming, but they never tried to communicate with it. That's why they couldn't understand, Dr. Hayes added. They only saw threats. We saw possibilities. Stone nodded. Send word to all Earth forces. Phase 4 is complete. Begin Phase 5. First contact protocols. As Council military forces slept peacefully across the galaxy, Earth's ships took up protective positions around key worlds. They weren't conquerors, they were guardians, ensuring a peaceful transition to something new. The Council spent centuries preparing for war. Stone told his commanders, "We spent 10 years learning how to prevent one. That's humanity's real strength." Director White sent one final message to Earth. "You've done more than defeat the Council. You've shown the galaxy a new path. Whatever comes from deep space, we'll face it together, not with weapons, but with wisdom." Stone looked at the stars through his command center's window. "Wake up the Council's forces," he ordered. "It's time to show them what comes next." 3 months after Project Titan changed the galaxy, Mars Colony 1 hosted an unprecedented gathering. In a massive dome overlooking the red planet's surface, representatives from over 200 worlds met to shape the future. Admiral Stone watched from an observation platform as alien diplomats filled the great chamber below. Former Council worlds sat beside newly freed planets, all equal for the first time in centuries. "Quite a change from the Council chambers," Director White said, joining him at the window. She no longer wore Council robes, instead dressed in simple diplomatic attire. "The First Galactic Federation Congress," Stone replied, "something the Council never imagined possible." Below them, Commander Walker led a group of former Council military officers through the chamber. After being awakened from the Titan device's peaceful sleep, most had chosen to support the new Federation. They had seen a better way was possible. "The deep space signal is getting stronger," Dr. Hayes reported, checking her instruments. "Whatever's out there, it's noticed our changes." Stone nodded. "And this time, we'll face it together, as equals, not masters and slaves." The main doors opened, and Captain Rogers entered with Major Thompson. Their ships had spent the last months helping worlds transition from Council rule to independence. Now they served as part of the new Federation Defense Force, teaching others how to protect peace without seeking war. "All ships report ready," Rogers said. "The defense network is complete. Every member world has equal protection now." In the center of the chamber, a huge hologram showed the galaxy. Green lights marked Federation worlds, spreading like stars across space. The old Council borders were gone, replaced by open trade routes and free travel zones. The Council spent centuries hoarding technology, White told the gathered representatives. The Federation shares knowledge freely. "Earth showed us that true strength comes from working together." Stone stepped up to address the Congress. The chamber fell silent as he spoke. 3 months ago, we ended the Council's rule without destroying them," he said. "Today, we build something new. The Galactic Federation isn't built on fear or power. It's built on cooperation and respect." He gestured to the massive window, where Earth shone as a blue jewel in space. When the Council threatened Earth, they expected to find primitive savages. Instead, they found humans who had spent 10 years learning their technology, improving it, and finding ways to use it for peace instead of war. The chamber erupted in applause. Many worlds had watched Earth's resistance with hope. Now they were part of something greater than the Council had ever been. "The deep space signal," Stone continued, "isn't a warning of war, as the Council feared. It's an invitation. Ancient beings reaching out to those ready to join them." The Council was too afraid to answer. "We are not." Dr. Hayes activated another hologram, showing the signal source, a distant part of space where strange energies danced. Together, we'll explore what's out there. Not as conquerors, but as explorers. The Congress voted unanimously to establish the Federation as a true democracy. Every world would have an equal voice. Technology would be shared. The strong would protect the weak until they grew strong themselves. Earth's retaliation against the Council wasn't about revenge, Walker told a group of alien delegates. It was about showing a better way is possible. As the session ended, ships from hundreds of worlds lifted off from Mars. They carried the new Federation's message of peace and cooperation to every corner of known space. Earth ships flew beside former Council vessels, their crews working together. Stone and White watched them go from the observation deck. The Council thought they were the height of civilization. White said, "They never understood that true civilization isn't about power. It's about how you use it." "And now?" Stone asked. She smiled. "Now we answer the signal. Together." Above Mars, the ships of the Federation formed an honor guard as the first joint exploration fleet prepared to jump to deep space. Humans worked alongside their former enemies, united in purpose. The Council had wanted to rule the galaxy through force. Earth had shown them something better. A future where all species stood as equals, ready to face whatever waited in the depths of space. The age of the Council was over. The age of the Federation had begun.